I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
On the ground at third, off the glove of Caleb Durbin. Everybody's safe, and the Brewers score their first run. Ground ball. Oh, it's off the glove of Durbin again. Sliding, diving, couldn't pick it. That's an RBI hit for Yelich, no doubt. And the Brewers are back within a run. And now it's Garrett Mitchell's turn. Mitchell up the first base line. Trouble if it's fair. Trouble if it's fair. It is. The game is tied. A swinging bunt that stayed on the right side of the chalk. Ball four, Brewers take the lead. It's a 4-pitch, bases loaded walk to Jake Bowers. Mitchell lines it in the left field for a hit. Terang is being waved around. Anthony's throw is well offline. Here comes Yelich to the plate. Covering is the pitcher. Safe. Yelich somehow avoided Whitlock's tag, and 2 runs score. Now he's swinging away, and he grounds a base hit into center field. Here comes Rengifo. It's bobbled by Rafaela. Brewers add run number 8. On the ground, right side, a long way to his left. Terang uses the range to get there, and the Brewers are 8-2. Angel Serpa buttons up an 8-6 victory.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Get your popcorn ready, kids. This is going to be an interesting series in Boston. What's up, Wisconsin? Happy Tuesday. Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Audio courtesy of our friends at Brewers TV. Poor Derbs. Caleb Durbin had a bad night at third. Not a terrible night at the plate. Hit one off the monster. The Brewers prevail in what's going to be a bit of a chippy matchup, hey?
Sure would seem that way.
Going to get a bit chippy. We'll hear from all sides later in this very segment in regard to Wilson Contreras and Christian Yelich and all of the tomfoolery that we get to just belly up and watch. Can't wait. Can't wait for tonight. There will be a fight.
Oh,
mark my words.
Something's happening.
Yep. And I want to know who we want as our bruiser. We'll cover that. Let's play catch up.
Packers.
Not much cooking here. We all know that the Packers need some big boys up front on both sides. And so that's where the story kind of lands early here in April. Who do we have our eye on the offensive and defensive lines in regard to the draft? It'll be interesting. Many a pundit say that the Packers need at least one, Josh, on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, you need the horses. Need to have the horses up front. We've known that. And we talked about this yesterday. I just still can't believe that some of those guys might be coming in the draft, and the draft's so close. Like, I'm going to keep reminding myself that because I want to focus on Brewers baseball, and the draft is just like, don't you forget about me. I'm right here.
There's an employee draft happening as well today and April 21st from 4 to 6 at the Johnsonville Tailgate Village. The Packers are looking for you to serve us.
For me?
At Luke. Well, if you want to.
Oh.
Do you want to serve beers at Luke Combs coming up here? Or
Maybe.
are you going to the concert?
I think I'd rather drink them than serve them.
Me too.
Yep.
That's why I'm not going to the fair. But
okay.
Many people are, hopefully, because I, too, would like to be served a beverage at Luke Combs and other various events at Lambeau Field. They do this from time to time. There's a job fair today and on the 21st from 4 to 6 at the Johnsonville Tailgate Village. If you'd like to help out the masses that are planning to head to Lambeau Field for Luke Combs in May and other, like the 2026 football season, maybe you get to hang on that long. For me, I've always wondered what it would be like to be a beer hawker or something. I feel like I would be good at that job, make a lot of fun happen in the section, but zero part of me wants to go to Lambeau Field to work. None.
Yeah. What is it? You don't work where you play, or
is that what they say?
There's something about like Yeah, I don't know. There's something like that where you'll ruin the dream. You'll ruin the magic of going a place once you see the innards, the insides,
I don't want to see behind the cheddar curtain at Lambeau.
Right.
I just want to believe it's all perfect.
That's right.
8-2 is not perfect, but boy, is it damn close.
I'll take it.
Brewers.
We continue the roll that is one amazing start to the 2026 season for the Milwaukee Brewers, but there was a bit of a bump last night because Wild Bill's brother's kind of bitchy. Can I say that?
You wouldn't be wrong.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Bit of a temper.
Also, he's played only on. This is the first time he hasn't been on a team that we hate. You know, I got nothing really against Boston, but
we might now.
That's right. He's trying to find a way.
Us. So Brandon Woodruff, a beautiful night on the bump. What I love about his outings right now, maybe I don't love it, but I love that it's plausible, I guess, is that he increases in speed as the night goes on. Did you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Late in the game, when he was still in there, he ended up pitching 5 2/3. He was throwing mid-90s. In the beginning, not so much. His changeup was 82. His four-seam fastball was only 7 miles an hour faster at 89. But late in the game, when we need him most, 94, 92, and it was moving. So maybe it just takes Big Woo a bit to wake up a little bit and get his arm loose because he looked great mid-game.
Yeah, I mean, he gives up 7 hits and 3 runs, but I think more importantly, you just said it there, 5 2/3, right? We talked about that yesterday with Josh Mauer and just in general. I think we might have talked to Timmy about it as well, just about needing to see some length in that starting pitching and having these guys go a little bit longer, which we've been worried about to start the season. You know, coming out of spring training, it was, well, I don't know who's healthy, how careful are they going to be? That was the big thing for me, was seeing if Brandon Woodruff goes 5 2/3, they come away with a win. Perfect. That's all you can ask for. And so that was beautiful from Woody.
Beautiful from Garrett Mitchell as well. Boy, the Brewers sure like the 8th inning. There's just a lot to be said about what we're going to do well in the 8th. And so that's the game. That's how it played out. Brewers win. We're off to an 8-2 start.
Mm-hmm.
Boston, not so much. 2-8. And we play today and we play tomorrow. Now, let's talk about what the actual news is from this game. It was a 93-mile-an-hour sinker off the hand. And I would judge that even hit him, for the record.
Mm-hmm.
But it was off the hand of one Wilson Contreras. And this is not the first time. We all heard it in the Brewer game last night. And there are two sides to every story. So we went and grabbed some audio from the Red Sox side of this plate. Here's what it sounded like when Woody hit Wilson.
Did he get him again? Yeah, he did. He hit him again.
Sixth.
For the 6th time, his brother comes out and walks him up the first base line. And again, there is history between the Red Sox Contreras and the Milwaukee Brewers that goes beyond all the hit batsmen.
Well, there's been a few of them that they've had altercations before when he's with St. Louis. Now, Murph wants to know, well, did ball even hit him? Looked like it just barely got him on the hand. Contreras more reacting just up and in. And listen, a guy's hit you 6 times in your career. Eventually, you're tired of it. I always just find it interesting. He's got serious beef with this club. His brother's the catcher.
Yeah, we know. He's got serious beef, all right, but this goes back some years. And this was a big point in the game in the 3rd inning. There were 2 on, and so we bean him, which is BS. We all watch that replay. What you look for is if the ball changes rotation whatsoever. That's how they review the college basketball replays, to see if it touched somebody's finger on the way out of bounds. It changes. That baseball did not change.
No. And it was kind of par for the course, which we'll get to, of just when Wilson Contreras gets hit, of it being right there. Did it even hit him? That was not the first out of the 6 times that Brandon Woodruff has hit Wilson Contreras where that question's been asked.
Being a big baby. So he goes to first. Bases are loaded. And this matters now because he goes from first to second in what should have been a double play. But one Wilson Contreras, weirdly, I mean, it was so weird, slid with his cleats right up. Illegal? not illegal? You be the judge. I'll take one guess what the Red Sox announcers think.
Perfectly legal. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But obviously, this is a high 10 spot. Like, he's on your club now. You need to understand that him versus the Brewers, this is the way it's gone for Wilson Contreras. Clean slide right into the bag.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, clean slide right into the bag. Almost doing the splits in the air, trying to get that foot up. And this isn't new with aggressive base running, right? Like, that's been a thing. That's a lot of times when you see guys trying to turn double plays, the second baseman is in the air when they're throwing the ball to avoid getting their legs cut out from under them by the runner. But, I mean, there's literally, it ripped his pants and up. It was not like around the ankle.
Top of his calf. McFly, that's not legal.
Yeah.
And he spiked them. These kids aren't playing with plastic molded things.
No.
These are metal spikes.
I mean, it ripped his pants. Like, yeah, that's not going to happen with plastic.
They go out to check him. They pull down his sock. Luckily, he's not gashed.
Right.
And so play continues. After the game, there was a couple comments. Let's go first to Christian Yelich. This is nothing new, right, Yelly?
I mean, we've seen that skit for the last 10 years. It's nothing new, not surprising.
I mean, okay. I don't know, Trevor, I don't know. You're tall and dark and handsome, and so who the hell knows? But for those out there that have been bullied in their lives, okay.
Oh, buddy, I was bullied when I was younger.
It was like that response is like the perfect response to a bully, right? When a bully's trying to make a scene and you just kind of have this laugh it off kind of, yeah, we've seen this for, yeah.
I mean, we've seen that skit for the last 10 years. It's nothing new, not surprising.
Like literally his little chuckle in between, just, they've seen this skit for the last 10 years. I mean, I was like, damn, Yelly, okay. Like that's his brother across from me, by the way, but I love it. Say it louder. Hell yeah.
Jeez. I try to teach my boys that, Josh, where if they get picked on, somebody picks on them in school, all I want them to do is turn around and say to this kid, you better? You feel better? Anything else you got to get out of your, you need to hit me on this arm? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
And just act like it doesn't bother you because they're looking for a reaction.
Well, exactly. And the thing is, there's a difference between engaging, though, and this, right? Like what Yelich did, like, because sometimes, and you teach kids, like, just don't engage. They're looking for that reaction. Just walk away. I know it's tough. Just walk away. He laughed it off. He literally laughed off the question about it as if like, yeah, I mean, whatever. Who cares? Which to me was like even more demoralizing to Wilson Contreras. Love that from Yelly.
So then what did Wilson Contreras have to say after the game?
It's not just a hit by pitch. That's the 24th time that they hit me in my career, 24th. And that's the 6th time they hit me. And they always say, I'm not trying to hit you. That get old. So next time they hit me again, I'm going to take one of them out. That's what happened. That's a message.
Okay.
Okay.
First of all, a ton to dissect in that 17-second clip.
Yeah.
All right. So can we break this down? Hold on.
Of course we can. Yeah.
It's not just a hit by pitch. That's the 24th time that they hit me.
Okay. It is hit by pitch. That's exactly what it is. You're saying it's happened 24 times, but it's about nothing more than being hit by a pitch.
Oh, and it's not like you don't crowd the plate and hold your hands literally in the strike zone.
100%.
And then lean into pitches. We've all seen those replays too.
But to start by saying it's not about the hit by pitch. It's about 24 times of being hit by a pitch. Okay.
Yeah. In my career, 24th. And that's the 6th time they hit me.
Okay. 24 times. Fair. That does seem like a lot.
By the Brewers alone.
Maybe don't play for 2 NL Central teams. Like, we also, how many times have Wilson Contreras faced the Brewers? If you tell me that he's only faced them 30 times and we've hit him 24 of them, I might go, okay, that's a little bit of an extreme ratio. You've played it in the NL Central a lot. Mm-hmm. And especially if you're also going to be aggressive crowding the plate, that's going to happen. Then he goes on to say,
and they always say, I'm not trying to hit you. that get old. So next time they hit me again, I'm going to take one of them out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So now let's read the room. Let's realize what year it is. Does anything come? Like something's coming from this, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's either something's coming from Major League Baseball because they're going to try to shut this down before it starts and go, hey, this isn't pro wrestling. We can't have guys going on microphones and say, let me tell you something, brother. I'm going to get in your face and do something if you hit me again. Or if the MLB does nothing, to your point and what you said earlier, something's happening during this game.
Well, and I mean, look, the pitcher tonight is super accurate. Nope, it's the Miz.
Oh, it's the Miz.
Yeah.
It's the Miz. Oh.
Okay. He doesn't throw 103 high and in ever.
No.
So, Josh, who do we want our bruiser to be? Because it's going down tonight.
Man, that's a great question. I honestly was trying to think about like if there was like a huge big guy in that also I don't mind getting hurt. Right? That was like the other key. I'm trying to think about like who that would be that I'd be like okay with. I don't know.
That's a problem. There are 26 guys that are in the dugout and also in the bullpen. If it even comes close to William Contreras today, which if I'm a betting man, and I am, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's going to do something. Now, we guarantee you, we know what he's not going to do. He's not going to turn around and clock his brother. If Milwaukee decides not to put Contreras behind the plate because of all this, now I really have a problem.
So I know that he doesn't have height, but I think I'm going Sal.
Okay, his back isn't great.
Okay, but also he's got that dog in him. He's scrappy. Doesn't he have a little bit of a hockey background?
All of these things are true. He's really far away.
Also, yeah.
Okay, so there's that.
So maybe when Contreras is up, you have Sal play in. Have him play in like almost to second base. Like have him come really far in so he doesn't have to run as far.
Sal is from Boston, I believe. So, I mean, This is right up their alley. Who else is in the infield that we – so here's a thought. Who do you put it first tonight?
That's a good question.
No, you know who to – come on. Who do you put – Gary Sanchez.
You okay.
Absolutely. I'm willing to sacrifice Gary Sanchez in this. In that, if it happens, Gary, if Contreras, Willie, is going towards – the mound, you take off and absolutely spear him.
Yeah, just straight out deck him.
That's what we need to do. Gary Sanchez at first tonight. That's got to happen because we already have Jefferson Cuero. We know he can catch if in a pinch. Jake Bauers can play first. Vaughn's not far behind, and we can do without Gary Sanchez for an XYZ number of times. He's the biggest dude we got. There's a sleeper in this, and I don't know how this flies, but Daniel Vogelbach is in the dugout.
Now, there we go. Get some weight on him.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't have their wingspan or their reach, but a little tail of the tape if that was to go down. So Gary Sanchez, 6'2", 250, to Contreras is 6', 240 reported. So pretty even right there. Again, I don't, it doesn't, since this isn't for boxing, I don't have their reach, but just in a weight matchup, that's pretty spot on. That would be a good fight.
I'm in. And honest, God knows Miz ain't going to get in the mix. He's going to break.
How do you handle this if you're Wild Bill?
I think you do everything you can to hold your brother back. You have to. When Woody hit him, finger quotes, did you see Wild Bill walk out in between?
Well, which is what the catcher always is supposed to do.
So that was good to see, though, because that was telltale right there that he's not going to stay out of it. I don't know if they talked last night and go, I don't know what you want to do here, but this ain't going to go well for either of us. If this happens, I'm going to have to get in the mix. I'm going to do everything to pull you off and protect my guy. Clearly, we're not going to hit each other, but something's going to go down. I think it's going to be in the first pitch of the game. It will be high and inside. Both benches will be warned.
Yeah.
I really, truly believe that. And let me take that back. It will be the first pitch Miz throws in the game. It's going to happen early, is my point.
Yeah. I don't know that it's going to be the first pitch he throws, but I am curious to see how this goes. I'm also curious to see if pregame, if any reporter, anyone talks to William and just kind of says, like, did you talk to your brother last night? Are you worried about something today? Like, I wonder if anyone is able to communicate with him this, pregame to get anything out of him before the first pitch. That'll be interesting.
If Miz beans him, how many games does Miz get suspended?
It's a great question. At least I would say at least one. I don't.
All of that.
I don't see how. That's the thing. The game's changed, right? Like, you go back even 10 years, there were unwritten rules. Like, hey, you said that, you're going to wear one. Like,
yep, somebody's getting one in the ear hole. That's
right.
The way it's supposed to go.
Right. It's kind of like hockey. Like, they fight and then, like, you kind of know about it. That's not the case anymore in baseball. Like, that's where you're saying, like, any pitch that's close, they'll immediately warn the benches. They'll do whatever they can to try to get in between this.
But did you notice how Woody handled it last night? Like a champ. Didn't say a thing, didn't let it rattle him. After the game, Yelly comes out and says what he says. We've seen this song and dance before. The only one that was throwing shade was Wilson Contreras after the game. Mm-hmm. So if you're Major League Baseball, you go, come on, you're not helping things.
Yeah. But even if you're not the one making the scene, if you get called to the principal's office, you still,
Well, he started it.
I know.
All right, Josh, let's audible here. We usually play catch up with Badgers, Bucks, and whatever else may be going on. We're going to get to college basketball and the I have question portions here. We know that Blackwell said bye-bye to the Badgers yesterday. Billis is bothered with the way that college basketball is. Michigan wins last night. We'll review that. And, the Bucks are in Brooklyn. You're caught up. When we come back, we have questions about the state of college basketball, and you will hear the very thing that Jay Billis said that has got people tuned up in regard to the state of where we kind of go from here. And it's relative to us in Wisconsin because of all of this, we're losing John Blackwell. Matt LePay joins us in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll talk to him about this as well. I have questions is next. Get your popcorn ready, Wisconsin. We're off and running. Brewers played tonight. And by the way, they're 8-2. So let's not let this distract us.
Hell yeah.
From the real thing that's going on. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. The Brewers kept it rolling with the win at Fenway yesterday, and tonight they send Miz to the mound. Get the starting lineups and get ready for the first pitch with Tommy Wartz in the leadoff show this afternoon, 4:30, here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Trevor and Josh, inside Wisconsin Sports. Let's just go. I have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question. Can you fly this plane and land it? Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. You are our favorite part of this show. Y'all are wound up today.
Yeah, as you should be.
As you should be. And it's good to see. We all have our Brewers' backs. And, hey, Wilson, chill the out, brother.
Mm-hmm. Go sit over there.
So the question there is, what do you think is going to happen tonight as we pivot towards college basketball? However, after this segment, we'll review all of the things that you've already sent in as we get back to Brewers baseball and the most electrifying sound of the day. But for right now, let's just consider for a moment where college basketball is in the state of whatever it is of amateur athletics. Big finger quotes on that one. Amateur.
Yeah, well, and all of this kind of coming to light, not only with the end of the 2026 NCAA March Madness tournament, but also the news that Jonathan Blackwell is leaving Wisconsin. And not necessarily a surprise to the entire state, not shocking. We had a feeling that that was going to happen, but still disappointing. And it kind of it brings us all back to the conversation we had, Trevor, on the show of what is the end game here with college athletics. This sucks, obviously, that we're seeing this from Blackwell, but is this just the state that it's in, and what happens next? And so there was a almost 8-minute clip on College Game Day where they were talking about, is this amateur athletics? Is this professional athletics? Why is it this way? And what happens next? And Jay Billis got a lot of opinions on what he said on both sides. But we have a little bit of that to play for you.
But John, you say go pro. Some would argue this is professional basketball. It is professional sports now.
It's amateur basketball.
It's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
But well, then let's just call it pro and let it be a pro basketball.
Well, but when first of all, it was pro basketball before NIL, and I'll tell you why. Amateur sports don't make billions of dollars and pay their coaches and administrators millions. There is nothing about this that has ever been amateur once the money jumped up. And it started in 1984 with the U.S. Supreme Court ruling that allowed the conferences to sell their media rights.
All right, perfect. Politics, great. Got them involved again.
Yeah, but also, how many of us that are watching this unfold right now, like I couldn't have told you, I'm not super familiar with that case. It all makes sense, that like once you give them an inch, they take a mile. What organization doesn't?
Right.
That's a fair point.
Mm-hmm. There is no difference between the media rights contracts with the NCAA from a media company like ours and the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball. Zero difference. And
so that's where the money starts and ends in all sports. All right, let's just start there for a hot second. Sorry,
go ahead.
I was going to say, when you sell something with someone else's likeness for hundreds of millions of dollars, it's going to come around.
Well, I think even Jay Billis's point is, even before name, image, likeness, when you are selling the media rights, he's essentially saying you can't say that college basketball, college athletics is an amateur sport if it's in the same realm as the professional leagues. If everything is the same in their rights to sell in their ability to sell their media rights and make all this money, if there's no difference between how things are run at a professional level and at a collegiate level, then college isn't an amateur sport, it's a professional sport.
And right now, when we're talking about this, we're kind of taking an old school mentality of, hey, it used to be a certain way, and that's fine. But if we want players to stay, then sign them to long-term contracts and put buyouts in them. But the NCAA doesn't want to do that because they don't want them to be employees. They want to beg Congress for an antitrust exemption, and they're not going to get it. What other multi-billion-dollar industry is getting an antitrust exemption from Congress? There isn't one. What the NCAA...
Okay. The Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. Billis went on for 8 solid minutes, and they went back and forth in the desk. We've got quite a bit there, and the reaction's starting to come in, and this is a great one from the 920. It says, Jay Billis was the one pounding the table to get these players paid. True, but there was zero regulation along with it. There's few and far between a college basketball fan or a college sports fan that looked at this whole situation and said, oh, no, they don't deserve to be paid at all. Well, yeah, they do, especially when, to their point, coaches can leave and they get paid what they do. Administrators get paid what they do. The TV dollars are what they are. And so we run into it here in Wisconsin almost constantly. And it's happening again now with the news yesterday that John Blackwell is no longer going to be a Badger. He's going to test the waters in the NBA draft, but also he's going to go get paid. Quick news reports yesterday, Josh, had him around $5 million to play somewhere else next year.
Yeah, for a year.
Yep,
right?
Just 1 year.
I want to just this was the last part of what Jay Billis said. It's just a few seconds.
But you know what everybody wants to do? They want to win. Like none of these schools is going, we have the highest GPA. They're going, we've been to 6 Final Fours. They want to win, and they're going to pay what's necessary to win.
And that's, you can't fault them for that, right? If that's the mindset,
well, it's no different than baseball.
If that's the mentality, right? And I think that's to his point. People can feel however they want about the NCAA, college athletics, etc. But the point that Jay Billis is making here makes a lot of sense. If the NCAA is giving the schools the ability and the opportunity to spend money to win, they're going to do that. That is what is most important. You are giving them the ability to achieve their goal of making it to 6 Final Fours, of getting their name on the map, of using this as marketing for the school, right? Like for them to make money through media rights, through all of these things. It's not about overall tuition, right? I feel like that was like an old school thought was, well, if our school makes it to the Elite Eight and they weren't supposed to be there, people will learn about our school, and then they'll go to our school's page, and then they'll see that we have a great business program, and they'll decide to come here out of high school, and we'll get tuition, and our school will grow. All of that makes a lot of sense. That's not the world we live in anymore. Now we're selling our media rights for millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. We're getting advertisers. The schools are getting so much money outside of traditional methods. Why would they stop that? They won't. And if the NCAA isn't going to do anything, this will continue, but then treat it like it is. Treat it like it's a professional sport.
And make it transparent. I think that's one of the things that me as a fan anyway is bothered by most, is that we really don't know what's happening because it's all secretive. It came out that a school can spend $20 million, and you don't think they're spending more? John Blackwell's going to get $5 million alone. How many players are on roster, Josh? 12, 13, something like that. Last I checked, that doesn't math. And so if you do just a wee bit of research and look back at what was a public number for the last 5 seasons in college basketball NIL, when they started reporting, again, finger quotes, in 2021, the 21-22 season, the number was $314.4 million. In NIL college basketball realm of paychecks, which is bull because we know it's far greater off the books, under the table, outside of the university, whatever you want to say. The 2025-2026 season, a mere 5 years later, according to this report, the number was $932.5 million in college basketball nil spend. And it's even more than that, because that's just what was available. And that's where this whole thing is busted. So where do we go from here? Oh, I don't know, man. But if you look at the last 10 years worth of national champions, Michigan, Florida, UConn twice, Kansas, Baylor, Virginia, Villanova, North Carolina, those last three were pre-COVID. And post-COVID is when it seems to be the worst of the worst in regard to what it's been. But look at football. Look at Wisconsin football and how much emphasis they're making on recruiting in the state of Wisconsin. That's to combat some of the dollars.
And I know that a lot of people look at this and they go, well, is it the chicken or the egg with nil money or the transfer portal? Because the transfer portal opens, you see all these guys entering immediately. Maybe when it started, it was the transfer portal first. Now they're transferring for the money. Kids are not transferring because they have an opportunity to go.
Wait, not kids. That was a hot
you're right.
debate
I'm
on
sorry.
that.
I'm
You know what
sorry.
saying?
Adults, men,
grown-ass men
are transferring because they know if someone says to them, their agent, because they have agents, says to them, hey, we have the opportunity for you to make $5 million. They're going, I have to enter the transfer portal. Like that's the difference. Maybe it wasn't that way before, but that's how it is now.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. When we come back, the most electrifying sound of the day and your thoughts on what's going to happen in the Brewers game later today when Wilson Contreras gets up to bat. Many of you want to see Daniel Vogelbach get in the mix. I completely agree. Let's
100%.
go. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It's time for
The most electrifying.
sound of the day
The most electrifying.
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Mitchell lines it into left field for a hit. Terang is being waved around. Anthony's throw is well offline. Here comes Yelich to the plate. Covering is the pitcher. Safe. Yelich somehow avoided Whitlock's tag and 2-run score. Garrett Mitchell has delivered another RBI hit. Then an error. It's 7-5 Brewers.
And that call of Mitchell's base hit, plus Yelly getting home on the air, courtesy of Josh Maurer and Brewers TV, is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. Trev, I think you might have brought it up, or maybe someone did on Twitter. It just feels like Yelich is different this year. His attitude, like the way that he popped up and was just so jacked after scoring, I don't remember seeing that. Usually he's pretty cool, calm, and collected.
You know what he is this year? 100% healthy.
Mm.
When's the last time? Yeah, whatever. We can say that. When's the last time he was 100% healthy? Forever ago?
Yeah.
Maybe his MVP season? He had an MVP season, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, probably. That was probably it.
And he had some fire in his belly then. So I think we finally have a healthy Christian Yelich, and who also, by the way, isn't afraid. Those that have played sports after an injury, you get the yips. Yelly doesn't have the yips. And he is going full tilt. He's got passion. He loves being the underdog. He said it in the preseason press conference that he did. We're just waiting for somebody to go, oh, look, you didn't do what you did. Now you suck. Or not. Or we're 8-2 and we got fire in our belly.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to go back and watch some highlights of games from that 2018 and earlier seasons. But maybe it's just a time thing. I don't remember seeing physically outward emotion this much from Yelly in big moments. When he had that home run in Game 3 against the Sox, you saw it at the plate. When he scores yesterday in Boston, he pops up. You see it. I love it. I am here for this Christian Yelich.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Lots of reaction in regard to what's happening with Wilson Contreras and getting beamed last night in the game by Brandon Woodruff. It's the 24th time the Milwaukee Brewers have beamed, finger quotes, off his little hand protect, barely, if at all. 6 times from Woody, and Wilson Contreras not so excited about that. And he came out after the game, in case you miss it, and said, if it happens again, I will take one of them out. So we're kind of debating who's our bruiser. And the vote is Gary Sanchez. What I'm really going to love, Josh, is if Gary Sanchez is at first tonight, maybe that's the right thing in terms of the lineup and lefty versus righty and blah, 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 blah. Or he's the bruiser at first.
Yeah.
I would love to see Daniel Vogelbach come flying out of the dugout. So, too, it's so many of you on the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Somebody earlier, we talked about Sal. Can't afford to lose him. Somebody questioned if Cuero has been sent down. I don't care. If Gary Sanchez gets suspended, we'll bring him right back up. There's a lot to be said that this is going to go sideways tonight. And the one kicker in all of this is the Red Sox are 2-8 and the Brewers are 8-2. So should it go sideways for this team right now?
I don't even think about it like that. To me, this whole thing with Contreras is completely separate from the score and what the team is doing on the field as far as wins and losses. This is just a separate part of playing baseball. Someone made a stink, now you got to handle it.
Well, it does impact the baseball, though. That's the hard part, right? We said what's going to happen if somebody gets suspended or if Miz accidentally, I can't even say that straight, puts one in Wilson Contreras' ear hole, throws right at him. He's booted. He's suspended. I just think there's a lot at play, but I also know the Pat Murphy that we know, and he's not going to let this slide.
I'm not going to lie. I don't think if something happens, then I don't think something big happens on purpose. I think even if there's something close, I wouldn't be surprised if even before the game starts, both benches are warned. Like there's something, like I would be very surprised if this goes old school baseball and we see a plunking tonight.
I love haymakers. I'm a big fan of the haymakers from grown men. They're all at work, by the way. They're working. Mm-hmm. You imagine? Listen, if you steal my papers off the printer one more time, I will take you out. And then you do it, and I take you out. I don't get a 1-game suspension. I go to jail.
Right. But it's different. It's different, right?
I know, but if you just break it down that way,
if Gary
it's really
Sanchez,
not.
if Gary Sanchez punches him in the parking lot or takes a swing at him on the field, for some reason, the swing on the field is not as big a penalty.
It's allowed.
Right.
Oh, I love that about sports so much. It's my favorite. All right, let's get back to the Giannis thing as we come out of the top of the hour into the Malat Meets Morning Mind Dump. If they don't sign him back, and all of this goes to hell in a handbasket, which it appears it's going to, do we blame the Bucks or do we blame Giannis? Remember, Rodgers got booed after Favre kind of made his bet. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Be back. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
On the ground at third, off the glove of Caleb Durbin. Everybody's safe, and the Brewers score their first run. Ground ball. Oh, it's off the glove of Durbin again. Sliding, diving, couldn't pick it. That's an RBI hit for Yelich, no doubt. And the Brewers are back within a run. And now it's Garrett Mitchell's turn. Mitchell up the first base line. Trouble if it's fair. Trouble if it's fair. It is. The game is tied. A swinging bunt that stayed on the right side of the chalk. Ball four, Brewers take the lead. It's a 4-pitch, bases loaded walk to Jake Bowers. Mitchell lines it into left field for a hit. Terang is being waved around. Anthony's throw is well offline. Here comes Yelich to the plate. Covering is the pitcher. Safe. Yelich somehow avoided Whitlock's tag, and 2 runs score. Now he's swinging away, and he grounds a base hit into center field. Here comes Rengifo. It's bobbled by Rafaela. Brewers add run number 8. On the ground, right side, a long way to his left. Terang uses the range to get there, and the Brewers are 8-2. Angel Serpa buttons up an 8-6 victory.
The final score, 8-6. The final record, 8-2. That's for the Brewers, by the way. Courtesy Brewers TV, Josh Maurer. And on to the Royal Rumble we go tonight. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Live on Twitter and live on YouTube as well if you want to join us there at WI Sports Radio. It's the top of the 7 o'clock hour, and every day we dedicate some time just to get the shakes out.
Mm-hmm.
Get it off your chest. Get it out of your head. It's time for the Malott Meats Morning Mind Dump.
I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me.
The coffee has kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm in a glass case of emotion!
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump, presented by Malott Meats. High-quality meats at a fair price, safely delivered to your front door. To learn more, visit WisconsinMeatMarket.com. Experience the power of the family meal with Malott Meats on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
WisconsinMeatMarket.com. There on the homepage, you will find the tenderloin is the meat of the month for April from our friends at Malott Meats. High-quality meats at a fair price, safely delivered to your front door. And experience the power of the family meal when you sit down with a beautiful tenderloin and your wife and kids. And then they complain at each other, and the meat wasn't the problem.
No, it was never the meat's fault.
Boy, is that a great family meal, though. You know, all right, boys, who's going to clean up? Neither of you. Got it. Okay. Who's going to clean up the mess in Milwaukee with the Bucks? That's the question in the Morning Mind Dump this morning. And how are we going to accept whatever it is that is the fate between the Bucks organization and Giannis? And at the end of the day, no matter how this shakes out, but let's hypothetically say Giannis doesn't return to the Bucks. He doesn't sign the extension. He doesn't sign the Supermax. He gets traded. This ends poorly. Where are we pointing fingers? And it seems awfully similar, although not an apples to apples comparison, Jason in the 920. But more of we've seen this song and dance one time before, and it dealt with Brett Favre. Because remember, Aaron Rodgers got booed on, who gets booed on family night?
Right. There are comparisons. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, and it was a good conversation about just everything that was happening, but it brought up more questions and more things to think about, and specifically looking at the past, right? Looking at Wisconsin sports history, going back to probably one of the biggest changes when we went from Favre to Rodgers. And there were plenty of people, I know that you and Sparky got into it a little bit, differing opinions yesterday on this of it. The fan base was mad. The fan base sided with Favre, and they were mad at the organization that they went with Rodgers. Not everyone, but there was a lot of people in the fan base that felt that way. And that kind of had us thinking, all right, regardless of how this ends, are you going to be mad at Giannis if Giannis leaves? If Giannis says to the Bucks, no, you might as well trade me. I know you need to get something, but I'm not going to sign the Supermax. Are you going to be mad at him if he does that? Are you going to be mad at the Bucks? Are you going to then come out to the first game of next season and boo the organization because now Giannis isn't there with how they handled it? That's the question. Does this lead to someone getting booed? Are you going to side with someone or be mad at either the organization or the player when this all ends, however it ends?
Yeah, there's a third direction, right? And it could be indifference. And I wonder, back to the apples to apples comparison, if the Packers and the power of the G led to what was some of that feedback that Aaron Rodgers got back in 2008. Do the Bucks hold the same torch? Are people taking this as personal as they did that? Let's look at college athletics. Look at John Blackwell now leaving the Badgers. And he had come out and said that he was going to be a Badger for life. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Oopsies.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. People say things all the time. He said that. I always go back to the clip of Drew Holiday when he started saying, I'm a Buck for life.
Giannis, I'm a Buck for life.
Right. I mean, these guys come out and they say, and things change. And things change. I mean, Brett Favre retired. He cried. He was emotional. He had all of Wisconsin emotional watching that presser. And then comes back and goes, well, maybe not, actually. Thought about it for a second. People change their mind. I think that there is it's a gray area, and some people are just hard set in how they feel about things. Others look at the situation. You brought up John Blackwell. Okay, a lot of Badger fans might be going, you didn't get one offer. We brought you in. We got you to this point. We gave you a platform. We grew you into what you are, and now you're leaving us. Some people look at that, maybe feel that way, and then see $5 million and go, oh, God, I would take $5 million.
Well, we played that earlier from Jay Billis, though. You want to talk about potential mental health problems in the future. Here are young men and young women getting fed a pot of money, big time dollar bills. And then they go and get their first job without a college degree, by the way, because they're all bouncing from college early or not seeing it through based on how much money they've already made. And then they get to their first job, and John Calipari said this best. Well, here's a $60,000 salary. Here's the bonus structure that you could earn based on your position here at this company. And you have to be here for 45 hours a week minimum. And the next question is, well, do I get free meals? Do I get a car?
Right. No, this is the real world, bud.
Bingo. Right.
And but that's the big difference is, and that's what I'm saying is that every situation has its comparisons, but it's not apples to apples. It could be apples to oranges. You might be dealing with fruit, but it's not exactly the same. You can find comparison in what happened with Favre and Rodgers and look at it from the Giannis perspective. I think the big thing that is hindering on this, that's kind of helping Giannis, the Giannis side of will you hold it against Giannis if he doesn't stay, is the Bucks don't have a guy in waiting. The Bucks didn't draft a guy. They didn't trade some other pieces to get a first round pick 2 years ago that they could look at and be like, okay, here's the future when Giannis's contract is done. They didn't do that. They didn't create any animosity of, whoa, are they saying that Giannis is moving? They went all in on Giannis, but now for the fan base, if they're going to move on from Giannis, there's not something to look forward to. And so I think that is a big difference with what's happened with Giannis and what happened with Favre. Who do we boo on the Bucks? The way that Packers fans booed Rodgers. I don't even know, like, fans that wanted Favre and didn't want Rodgers. How does that translate here? Fans that want Giannis and don't want who? There's no one there. There's no one there for Bucks fans to boo going, they should have kept Giannis, not you. Like Doc Rivers, yeah, I think we're all pretty done with Doc Rivers.
We're not going to need to boo him, I don't think.
Right. So that's my point, is that I don't know that you can compare it exactly in the same way, because the Bucks haven't given you someone, they haven't even presented the fan base yet with someone to go, here's our succession plan. Here's who we're looking at next.
Look what happened in last night's Brewers-Red Sox game for just a hot second. Did you catch this, Josh? And the 262 just brought it up on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. At one point in the game, the Red Sox fans literally started chanting, sell the team. Mm-hmm. And the camera panned to the owner of the Red Sox. They're 2-8 when they wake up this morning. Has a Wisconsin sports fan or a fandom, a group of fans here in the state, ever turned on the franchise? They booed Rodgers, to your point. They've booed the play of the Milwaukee Brewers or the Packers or the Bucks. Have we ever gone at the franchise themselves?
Well, the ownership group, yeah. I mean, it was not that long ago at all. Heck, people are still doing it now, saying that Mark Antanasio should sell the team.
Did they come out and start chanting that? Like, I mean, that's what we're talking about, right?
I'd have to go back and check, but I wouldn't be surprised. People have been on that for a while, saying, if you're not going to spend the money to help this team get a championship, sell the team. When he came out and he said, is my job to win a championship or provide a summer of entertainment for families, blah, 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 that lit a huge fire under fans that had them saying, well, then you shouldn't own this team, sell this team.
Did it turn?
I think that there's still a loyalty to the franchise, but the ownership will absolutely get heat. I don't think that the Boston Red Sox fans last night were saying, move the team, we're done with this team. I think they're saying, hey, ownership, we don't like you or the direction, sell the team to someone who will.
There was a lot of that yesterday, though, where Bucks fans in general are just fed up with the franchise and said, fine, take the whole damn thing, go to Seattle, we don't care, we'll get an NHL team. Well, hold on.
Right.
A little hot.
Right. And that's why I brought up yesterday that those people that are saying that, those weren't fans of the team beforehand. Like those were people that just enjoyed Giannis bringing a championship to a city that hadn't had one in 50 years. Those aren't the people that sat through the crappy seasons and went when tickets were practically free to see a team just do terrible in and night out and just play awful basketball. Those were the same people at that time saying, sell the team, bring in a hockey team. They were doing that 10, 15 years ago. Now they're doing it again because the Bucks aren't winning. I say winning changes everything. Okay, they're not winning. So those people are coming out of the woodwork. They're coming out. They've been hiding for a decade. They're coming back out going, yeah, I never liked basketball. I never liked the Bucks. Get me a hockey team.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. In the middle of the Malott Meats morning mind dump, processing whose fault this is going to end up being if/when the Bucks and Giannis separate themselves from each other. The 920 says, how do we know this story is 100% accurate? It was shams after all. Well, because it was also Lori Nickel.
Mm-hmm.
In the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel.
Yeah.
In a one-on-one interview with Giannis, who very much bit his tongue at all sorts of different parts in that interview to make sure that he wasn't letting his true colors shine in regard to this issue.
Yeah, it was, there's definitely truth to the argument. Do I think that Shams is blowing it out of proportion and being a national media pundit? Yeah, absolutely. That's what he does. I think that's what he gets paid a lot of money to do on stories beyond just with Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. But there's definitely truth to this story.
So we also talked yesterday about how some people believe that Giannis was Milwaukee's savior. And I'm not talking about the Bucks. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the Deer District and the turn that downtown Milwaukee took when Giannis and the Bucks had the success that they did. I want to combat that for just a hot second. If you would have built Miller Park in downtown Milwaukee, the same would be true about the Milwaukee Brewers franchise changing the scenery in downtown Milwaukee. I also wonder how many people, when they go to a sporting event at Fiserv Forum, actually go and spend time at the places in the Deer District. Every single time I come down there for a game, to Marquette, to the Bucks, to an event at Fiserv, the places in the Deer District, you can't even walk in. There's a huge wait. And so for as many people as they fit inside of Fiserv, it does not seem conducive for events. Just look at Lambeau Field, right? There's so many different places and spots that you can go on all sides of it. The Deer District is a little bit small right there in front. It's like a mini title town, if you will. I always go to Major Goolsby's.
Sure.
And so maybe I'm wondering, do people attend not only on game days, but how often are people going down to the Deer District just Monday through Sunday on a normal week here in Wisconsin? Or is this just a place that is a hopping place when something's going on at the Fiserv?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a huge switch when it's a game day, right? It's no different than, like, you can technically go eat in the Leinenkugel restaurant in American Family Field.
I do.
Any day. It's open all year round.
Yeah.
There's no wait on non-game days. No wait. You can go dinner time, lunchtime for a business meeting. That you're never going to have a wait. There's an open seat.
That is different, though, Josh. It's not connected to the Fiserv. Like, that's inside AmFam Field.
Right, which should make it even more of an attraction. You get to see the baseball field too. I'm just saying, like, there are people that go to those places, but they're nowhere near as busy as they are on game day. The thing is that when Fiserv was being discussed, and if they were going to build a stadium at the same time, it was this argument of, okay, yeah, the Bradley Center is falling apart, and they either need to stick money in that or tear it down and build a new place. But it would mostly be for the Milwaukee Bucks. Is this even a franchise worth keeping in Milwaukee? Like, all of those things happen. And if you don't have Giannis, if Giannis doesn't exist, this doesn't work. Like, it's
why do you say that, though?
Because there wasn't enough love for the fan base, or for the organization. The Bucks weren't winning. Like, that was the thing. Getting a new fancy building, like, I think that was part of the reason why when Bud Selig was able to put things together for Miller Park, it took what it did, because the Brewers also weren't doing hot at that time. And so there were a lot of people that were questioning that. There were a lot of people at that time saying, sell the Brewers. Don't tax me. I don't care about that franchise that can't win anything. Like, it was a very similar argument. But when the Bucks started winning, and when people started paying attention, realizing we have a superstar, then more people start going to games. More people start hanging out in that area. You see restaurants and bars opening. You start seeing people just hang out in that area. Now there's a new concert venue in the old space where the Bradley Center was. That's what we talk about with it being revitalized. And then it goes even further than that. Then you have Milwaukee on an international level. There are people that knew of the state of Wisconsin, maybe, but where's Milwaukee? I don't know. Oh, it's near Chicago, right? It's near Chicago. What is Milwaukee? Literally putting Milwaukee on the map, like literally at an international level. Giannis put Milwaukee on the map. That's the difference.
But who paid for it? Do you remember the breakdown?
I don't.
It was 50-50 ownership and public funding.
Okay.
And indeed, it was a Giannis connection in that it helped us keep a guy like Giannis in Milwaukee. Hey, look at the new shiny thing. But the Fiserv was built and opened in 2018. When was the Bucks championship, Josh?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
When was the Bucks championship?
2021.
So they built the Fiserv well before the Bucks were in the mix for any NBA title. So to say that it was the Bucks' success that changed the Deer District and Giannis is the savior is just not the truth.
No,
And I struggle connecting that in the idea that is dependent on Giannis. Did Giannis put the Bucks on the map and make them into a team that they haven't been in a long time? Yeah. But Milwaukee and the Bucks franchise don't owe Giannis anything anymore. And frankly, I don't know that Giannis owes us anything anymore.
Correct. That's not.
But then we can't connect a savior tag to something like this and use the Deer District and Fiserv as the excuse because the stories just don't match. And so when all of this comes to a bloody end, however it does, I hope we back out of this for a hot second and go, this is normal in sports. We don't have to worry about losing the Bucks. We don't have to kick them out and bring in an NHL franchise. This has happened before with the very Bucks organization that we're talking about now. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, remember that? Ray Allen, remember that? History repeats itself, guys. It is not the end of the world, and it is 100% 50-50 on both parties, in my opinion. The Bucks could have done a lot better here, and Giannis could have done a lot better here.
I 100% agree that no one is fault-free in this disagreement and what's going on. The point of the conversation was, are you angry at Giannis if he says, I'm leaving? Like, I'm not going to sign the Supermax, essentially asking for a trade without asking for a trade. My point is that I don't know how you can be mad at him because you don't have any of the things you have here without him. I'm telling you, if Giannis isn't here, there's no championship. There's no championship that happens. How long does Fiserv last? How prosperous are the businesses that take a chance and open in the Deer District? How likely is it that there's more things being built and refurbished? Even Doc went and said, and who the heck likes Doc right now? And even Doc went and said, in comparison to when I was here in college, this is a completely different city.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much better now. I do a lot of work with Visit Milwaukee. I hear that all the time from Visit, who's a tourism group for the city. Like, the city has changed so much in the last 10 to 15 years. And Giannis is absolutely a part of making that happen. And so I'm not saying that he's perfect. I'm not saying that he hasn't done anything wrong or had made a wrong move. I'm saying if he chooses to say, this is it, I'm sorry, I'm out, give the man his flowers, thank him for everything. Do not hold it against him.
Well, it's 50-50 split on that, as we might expect. Some people are saying it's 100% on Giannis. Some people are saying it's 100% on the Bucks. And some people are saying it's rich New York money that showed up in Milwaukee, and now add Jimmy Haslam to that. And, well, I guess we're just no different than any other professional sports and or college sports franchise, for that matter, in the country. It's been a week filled with the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat in regards to a lot of the stories in Wisconsin sports. Did anything come out of your mouth, or maybe just stick in your head and not come out of your mouth, that you want to take back? That's why we call this Take Back Tuesday, and we'll see what you and us want to take back when we come back. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Friendly reminder, Wisconsin, Inside Wisconsin Sports is also a podcast. WISportsradio.com and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Catch up on a full episode, listen by the hour, jump straight to a segment or a highlight. Whenever it works for you, it works for us. We're glad you're here live listening now. And if you wanted to hear what Matt LePay has to say about John Blackwell and Badger football and just the state of college sports, we're going to have that talk with him at 8 a.m. this morning. Matt LePay scheduled to join Inside Wisconsin Sports. If you miss it, just go back to the podcast. You'll be able to catch the interview we have with Matt whenever it works for you. Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor and Josh, and a Take Back Tuesday. Anything come out of your mouth or maybe just, chill in your head that you thought or said that you're like, got that one wrong, need to take that back. That's why we do this, a Take Back Tuesday on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Josh, what is your number one take back?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, I love this because it's kind of like radio confession. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. and you can come back and you can take back whatever those hot takes are. I gotta start by giving one for our friend Josh Maurer. We had Josh Maurer on the show yesterday. He's been doing a great job filling in for Jeff Levering. We found out as we talked to him yesterday, it was like an hour at most before the game that he found out, yep, Jeff's out, you're in, you're doing TV, bud. At the end of the interview, we were talking to him about cribbage and him not knowing how to play cribbage, and then he said this.
Things were not feeling great for Jeff, poor Jeff. But again, he's feeling better today, I know.
Good. He's feeling better. He's feeling better. He went on to say, I should be back in my home on radio a few moments later. Before the first game in Boston, Jeff Levering on Twitter at JLevering4. Appreciate everyone asking about my health these last few days. Nasty stomach bug ripped through me. I'm resting up, but I'm so thankful for Josh Maurer stepping up in the clutch and Lane Grindle riding solo on the radio for the last 3 days. Best teammates in the game. Josh Maurer finds himself again back on TV. Don't jinx it, Josh. Don't jinx it.
You know who I feel worse for in this situation, other than Jeff, obviously, who's got quite the stomach bug, apparently.
Right.
Lane Grindle is flying by himself on the Brewers radio network.
He is.
That is tough sledding.
But, Josh coming on and saying, hey, he's better today. I'll be home. No, you won't. Take that back, bud.
So I take back this in regard to college basketball and baseball, and ironically how they cross over. I have said that college basketball is what it is. Either jump on board or get out the boat. I've also said that baseball's money problems are a problem. I would like to reverse that. College basketball is the problem. College athletics and how they're handling their finances is a problem. The lack of transparency is a problem. The fact that kids like John Blackwell and others, not kids, grown adults.
Yes, grown men. Yep.
Cannot stay committed to something for longer than a year because they're chasing the pot of money. I don't know about your professional career, Josh, but anytime I made a decision in my career on money instead of values, I lose every single time. Now look at baseball for just a hot second and compare baseball to college athletics. Although Major League Baseball doesn't have a salary cap, it is wildly transparent. It has collective bargaining, contracts, agreements, ways into them and ways out of them. And although we as Brewers fans can look and compare us to the Dodgers, look at the records in baseball. Look at who made it to the NLCS last year. Yes, the Dodgers won it all. But at the same token, the small ball Brewers, the small market Milwaukee Brewers are still competing at the highest level with the teams that have all of the money. That is not the case in college athletics at all. Now we even look at Wisconsin and go, geez, can we even compete? Can Wisconsin football and Wisconsin basketball on the men's side of the table, can they even compete? And the answer is no. not to mention UW Green Bay and UW Milwaukee. It's not about winning the national championship for these teams anymore. It's about winning a game in the tournament. And so I absolutely take back the blinders that I had on going, baseball's the problem and college athletics is what it is. I think it's the opposite. I think currently baseball is what it is, and yet teams can be competitive up, down, left, and right, no matter where they fall in terms of their budget. But look at college athletics. Holy Hooterville, it's a problem.
Yeah, I think that's a great take back. I think there's a lot of truth to that. And I think the problem is that a lot of people are still holding on to this idea, as Jay Bill has talked about in that 7.5 minute clip that's out there, of just the fact that college athletics isn't what it used to be. There used to be something I think we all remember the NCAA commercials talking about, 3% of all NCAA D1 college athletes go on to play professional sports, and how it talks about like the importance of education and some of these athletes are going to be our next doctors and lawyers and blah, 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 everything else. That's not what this is. That idea of it still being about going and getting an education that separated college athletics and made it to where you went, oh, my school could still do something because everyone has a fair chance. It's about recruiting, and it's about getting that education, presenting these kids that are in high school the opportunity to play for my college's team and also get an education. That's not it anymore. Now it's, well, how much money are they going to get? That's not college. That's not college. Nope. That's pro sports.
Bingo. The 608 on the Nicolay Law talking text line real quick, Josh. 414-677-1250 says that's not the case in college. Indiana didn't just win a national title. What even is this show? McFly, hi.
Hi, 608. How you doing?
You missed it, bud. What we said was it's not the case in Major League Baseball that the young, scrappy, small market teams can't compete, because they can. The Brewers are. What we're saying is teams like Wisconsin that doesn't have a bag of money, or UW Green Bay, or any of the mid-major teams that are conferences filled across the country, or maybe anything outside of the top 10 NIL budgets, are struggling to compete for a championship. That's what we're saying is the difference.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening.
Yeah, I mean,
just not listening, I guess.
Rhino in the 608, that's who this is. And Rhino, I know he listens all the time. But yeah, you misunderstood that one. The point of what we're saying is that the college athletics is at fault. That's the take back here. Yep. Is that we looked at a lot of things with pro sports going, that's the problem. Now, I will say, I still think that there's problems with baseball, and
but
that
at least
I'm not going to say it is what it is.
At least they're transparent. We all know what the problems are, but it's not the entire system. If it was the entire system, the Brewers would never have a chance. And that's not the case.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there will always be more problems that were still a little bit more transparent in college athletics, just based on the sheer number of teams. Like a UW-GB team, and in a lot of ways, even a UW-Wisconsin, Madison, the Badgers, were still facing uphill battles because of, I can't tell you, for the last 10, 15 years, probably even longer, it's been, if the Badgers lose more than one game in football, I know they're not playing for a national championship, so what's the point? Like, that's just how it's been. That's been the case way before NIL or any of this other stuff came to life. That's just, there's too many schools. And so when you're trying to decide strength of schedule and who does what, that's why winning the Rose Bowl was essentially the championship for the Badgers, because that was the best you were going to get. That doesn't, we've come so far from that mentality.
What's your take back, Josh?
My take back, honestly, was, and I have said this before, and we've talked a little bit about it in regards to Giannis, but I've often said that there are players I don't like, but I hate them based on the team they play, right? Like Albert Pujols, like I hated him, but because he was a Cardinal. Like once he went to the Angels, I didn't hate him as much. And so I've always kind of said that I just feel that way because of the name on the front of the uniform. Well, I'm taking that back because Wilson Contreras can go fly a kite. And that was I know my fingers on the dump button, but that I don't care if he was ever in a Brewers uniform.
Go kick rocks.
I would have signs. I would have signs outside of American Family Field. And they said during the Red Sox broadcast last night, he's a player you hate to play against, but you're glad when he's on your team. Hell no. I'm good with his brother. I don't want that guy anywhere near my organization. I don't know. No. I'm taking that back. I no longer believe that. There are just certain players that I don't care what team they're on. You are a prick, and I'm not okay with you. Stay away from my team.
For the first time last night, Josh, I missed Reese Hoskins.
Yeah.
I wanted him doing the in the worst way. Because then we would have threw fists. Dan and Waukesha, we see it. You nailed it. Well done. Yeah, what's going to happen with this whole Wilson Contreras thing tonight? Going to be interesting. Brewers, Red Sox, and hopefully one in the ear hole. Can you wait? Do I need to take that back? Can you wish someone to get beamed?
You can.
Is that okay?
This isn't. I don't know that this Take Back Tuesday is about being PC or not. It's
good. In the ear hole, please.
Okay,
right.
Yeah, you
here.
feel how you feel, bud.
In the ear hole. All right. When we come back, we're gonna play a little music for you here on the old sports station.
Oh,
one shining moment. What'd you think? Did you stay up for it, or were you like me? You just pulled it up on Twitter this morning and spent about 3 minutes going, "Oh, okay, cool."
And how do you feel about One Shining Moment in general? Do you enjoy it? Do you ever watch it? Do you stay up for it? Do you think it's dumb? And did that opinion change now that, in your mind, college athletics is changing?
Not so shiny, is it?
Well said.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
You know, mornings can all start to feel the same, so if you're looking for a fresh wake-up call, look no further than Wendy's Breakfast. Try a breakfast Baconator with fresh cracked eggs and crispy bacon, or a grilled sausage or bacon breakfast burrito, or maybe even a Honey Buddy. And don't even think about sleeping on Wendy's seasoned potatoes. It doesn't matter what you go for, it's going to change your life. Well, it'll at least freshen up your morning. Are you ready for a fresh wake-up call? If you are, it's got to be Wendy's.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Did you catch one shining moment last night?
Welcome to the Magistry of March.
I don't know about you, Josh, but every time I hear that, my hair stands up.
Yeah, it gets you.
Yeah. And it's way worse. The second he comes in with that, the ball is tipped. That's when it's like, okay, better shut up and listen. Man. So my buddy Mike Pritzel sent me a video on the side of the 1994 March Madness.
How different was it from the 2026?
Well, it matters because that was the year that UWGB did what they did in the tournament. They were the Cinderella. He was actually the mascot, Josh, at UWGB, and he's in it, freaking out. I mean, UWGB was in that thing the first 20 seconds at least twice. And so that's what we all look for, right? When we watch this, we all look for our team. Did Wisconsin make it in? Were there any plays? For me, I couldn't even get to the end of it this year.
Yeah. This is then they get to the Final Four.
One more hill to climb. Who will have their one shining moment?
Awesome that they got that clip. Like, proud of them.
I was told there would be no singing.
Who told you that?
Yeah, I know. You can turn it off now.
So,
yeah.
I love the tournament. It's my favorite sporting event of the year. I love March Madness.
Really?
Yep.
That's your favorite sporting event?
100%.
Interesting.
Specifically, it's the first day. It's the first day of the tournament, that Thursday. Obviously, there's tradition built into it with us taking the photo with Jordy, but the upsets, the multiple games, the close games, the buzzer beaters, all of that. I love that. I love the chaos. I live for the chaos in sports. I love that moment. And to see all that come back in the one shining moment after you wait, right? Like we talk about how essentially the Final Four, the Elite Eight, like it bled into baseball season when I was ready to move on to baseball. It took so long to get here. The one shining moment brought it back. It was like, oh yeah, I remember that buzzer beater. They put the whole tournament together. It's a nice little package. Huge fan. This year, it did nothing for me, man. There was just something about like when they show the kids crying and me going, oh, now you just have to live with your nil money. Like now you just have to cry in your car that you got for free for playing basketball in college. Like one shining moment for me has been ruined by what's happening with college basketball. It's not just about kids living a dream anymore. That sucked.
Where does one shining moment and the college basketball national championship celebration rank in regard to other championships? That is a conversation I'd like to have tomorrow. I love a particular championship celebration, and it's not this one. It's not the one from last night. Now, maybe that would be different if my team won it, but the other ones, I don't care what teams are in it. I'm watching. I love some of the championship celebrations.
Well, you'll have to tune in. You'll have to tune in tomorrow to find my answer.
Make a note. You'll have to tune in when we get back from the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. Matt LePay, the voice of the Wisconsin Badgers, is scheduled to join us. There was a couple 2-3 things that happened yesterday in regards to Bucky that we got to run past him and see if our pets' heads are falling off or if this is just the way of the world now in college athletics. There's also a lot of chatter about the football side of things, back to recruiting the state of Wisconsin and building a wall around the state because, for the love of God, will the best football players please not leave?
Transfer portal, nil money, college athletics. Just repeats itself.
there's some loyalty there, though, too. I mean, Wisconsin has pride. We talk about it. Statriotism, a zealous patriotism for one's home state. That used to matter in college athletics. Is it gone forever, or are we on to something now, turning our eyes back to Wisconsin? Matt LePay joins us when we come back. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It's time for your fan weather forecast brought to you by the Milwaukee Area Napa Auto Care Association. Sunny conditions expected today. It's going to be a cold one, though. High of 37. It's currently 28 degrees here in Milwaukee.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Length of the floor, layup doesn't go. Ball knocked around, slumped down the floor. Caravan trying to track it down, and he will. And it's over. Hail to the champions. Hail to Michigan. For the first time in 37 years, the Wolverines win the national title.
Gross. Gross.
Nah.
Ew. I don't know. Never hear that again and just be fine.
Oh, it's a shame that Dan Hurley didn't win. Yeah.
Well, each their own. Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
The final call from last night when Michigan wins the national title over said UConn and Dan Hurley, who I thought held it together last night for the most part.
Yep, he definitely tuned it down. Very respectful, humble in the loss too. A lot of great things he said after the game. I was surprised.
I don't like it.
I didn't mind it.
I like a bent out of shape Dan Hurley. Am I the only one? It's just fun to watch, man. It has no effect on me.
Oh, I don't know. It makes my skin crawl. I'm not a fan.
Joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all. The voice that we would have rather heard last night. Matt LePay, the voice of the Wisconsin Badgers, joins us on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Matt, we appreciate you jumping on. Great to see you as always. How are you processing, like the rest of us in Wisconsin, Michigan's win last night?
You might be surprised to hear this. I'm good with it because it finally stops the narrative of the Big Ten not winning the national championship since 2000. So how do you stop a narrative? You win a national championship. So and their broadcaster is a friend of mine, Brian Bush. We got to know each other through the years, and Terry Mills does the color analyst for Michigan, and he was on that 89 team. Great guy. So I look at this a little different probably than most fans because I'm in it. You get to know people. And I say that as an Ohio State graduate, by the way, is where you grow up thinking all things Michigan are evil. And that's true to a large extent. Of course, a lot of things Ohio State are evil, as I have come to learn over the course of time. So I was good. I think we need villains. I'm actually a Dan Hurley fan because he's a fun villain. He leans into it. We've become really corporate in if it's college coaching or professional sports. This is where Murph is different. He's different in a likable way. Hurley is different in a less likable way, unless you're a UConn fan. But I like a variety is the spice of life, right? So I'm good with all of that.
Yeah, I do. I love to hate him. You're not wrong about that. I wanted to ask you, Matt, just there's the Big Ten has been making noise. And it wasn't that long ago that people looked at the Big Ten Conference specifically in this March Madness tournament and went, man, they get a lot of teams in and then they don't perform. And it was more than just Michigan winning it, right? Illinois, the Big Ten overall had a very good March Madness tournament and a great season beyond just the men's basketball tournament. You had Indiana in the NCAA football, and then the women's side as well with UCLA now in the Big Ten. Can you talk a little bit just about, are you on that side of pro Big Ten because that's what the Badgers are in? Or is this just, yep, those schools did it, but the Badgers need to get better and I'm focusing there?
Well, probably both. I mean, it was the tournament. I thought I was entertained with the NCAA tournament because you had good storylines. Nebraska winning a couple of games finally in the tournament, Iowa making a run, some exciting games. Duke almost losing in the first round, Kentucky almost losing in the first round. You did have a number of Big Ten teams. About half a dozen got to the Sweet 16. What stings is Wisconsin wasn't one of them. Wisconsin punched out in the first round. It might be the last of its kind of an upset moving forward, where that true Cinderella in High Point beats the high major team. I don't know how many more of these we're going to see moving forward in the NCAA tournament. But I think there's a certain element of, you're happy for the league. But look, most fan bases, and me as the radio announcer for Wisconsin, I'm more concerned about Wisconsin being good than anybody else. And Wisconsin was good. That's just the good and the bad of the tournament, where the optics can change based on one game. And a really good year for Wisconsin basketball. There's a dent in it in the eyes of many fans, or media for that matter, because the Badgers bowed out in the first round. But I mean, for me, being with those guys from last summer and certainly during the course of the season, I know they were good. It just was a sour ending, and that for a lot of people can change the optics, at least in the short term.
The voice of the Wisconsin Badgers, Matt LePay, joins us on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Well, we woke up happier yesterday than we did this morning, being a Wisconsin Badgers basketball fan, with one John Blackwell entering the portal. You get to answer the questions because you agree to come on shows like this, and yet none of it has to do anything with you. However, as college athletic fans, and specifically basketball, this is getting old. Is Wisconsin ever going to be able to keep a guy like John Blackwell, or is this the new norm?
Great question, and I wish I had a firm answer for you. I would back up a little bit. I'm not surprised by what happened. You heard rumblings for quite a while that he was going to use his free agency option, and which he is doing, and that's the $64 million question, Trevor, with Wisconsin and probably a majority of programs in major college athletics. Are you going to be able to retain players, your best players? And I don't know the answer to that. I could rah-rah and tell you, oh yeah, they're going to do this and they're going to find a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but I don't know. You hope to find guys or players with enough motivation to stay, to finish what they start. But the one thing I've noticed is that as fans or even media, we hate it when someone leaves. And a lot of fans tell me that it's really hard to follow college sports now because we don't get to know the players, and that, you feel how you feel. But I also know this. I had a lot of fans come up to me in the last couple of years and tell me what a great guy John Tonje is. We saw him for like 6 months. He averaged about 20 points a game, and he's a fine young man. People love them some Nick Boyd. Both of those guys had Wisconsin as school number 3 in their college career. Great guys, terrific players. So we hate it when they leave. We're good when they come here. When they come here, they're Badgers for life if it's 1 year. And if you're John Blackwell and you say Badger for life when you leave after 3, the replies in social media are pretty predictable. So, but that's the big question, Trevor. I wish I knew whether the Wisconsins of the world would be able to come up with the wherewithal to retain the best players. But anybody who gives you a definitive answer is probably not being straight with you.
How are you doing with all this? Because it's vastly different from when you started. And how do you feel about how much it's changed? Because that's, I guess, what we're trying to process as fans. To your point, we love them when they come. We hate it when they leave. And yet it's completely different than even 10 years ago. So how is a guy like you in your seat on the bus, how do you handle stuff like this?
You try to look at it with as much reason as you possibly can. Sports is not built on reason. We know that. One thing I've been lucky about here is that the guys who have been here, be it 1 year or 4 or 5, by and large, they seem like pretty good dudes. And I would say that about John Tonje. I'd say that about A.J. Storr a couple years ago. And certainly Nick Boyd, Brayton Carrington, all of those guys this year. I think, Trevor, in the midst of processing it. there is, I heard Scott Van Pelt on his pod, and I'm a big fan of his. He said, look, he was talking to some of his folks at Maryland, where he's a proud alum, saying, look, there's no speed limit right now with what's going on in college athletics. There's no speed limit, and there sure as heck is no enforcement. So you're either all in or good luck. And that's I think the frustrating part for a lot of folks, not just me, but more importantly, fans. And we don't know where this is going to stop. This is very much like Major League Baseball to me, where a program like Wisconsin is doing the very best with what it has to offer in terms of resources. And it has done very well, not unlike the Milwaukee Brewers, who have done very well with more limited resources than the Dodgers and all the other predictable high spending teams. But once you get into the postseason, you need the planets to really align for you to be able to make that deep run. We've seen the Brewers advance finally last year, but they've only advanced 3 times in 43 years in the postseason. But they're always there. Like we're hooked, because they have, for many, many years now, they've been a very competitive team where you feel like they have a shot. And I think to an extent, that's where the Badgers are. There's frustration right now because it hasn't made it to the second weekend since 2017. But for those who follow this wire to wire, these teams have been fun to watch, especially the last 2 or 3 years where they're scoring, 80 plus points a game. So there's frustration, and there's just such an unknown, like when will there be structure to college athletics? I mean, this NIL and the portal era, if you will, started July 1st, 2021. Are we any closer today than we were then to structure? I think you would say the answer to that is no. And that's necessary.
Yeah, no, we're further away. That's the issue. Yeah. Matt, as if you're talking to Badger fans and they're looking at the situation of Blackwell saying he's going somewhere else, and the numbers start floating around. We don't know anything. Nothing's been confirmed of how much NIL money he would be getting to go to a different school. But does that, if you're a Badger fan, does that make you think, all right, if the Badgers weren't willing to pay more money to keep a guy there, they're not going to have the money to bring in the necessary power to elevate them to that next level? If they go and get a guy like a Nick Boyd, or a guy this is their third school, if they try going down that path again?
Well, it seems to me, and not being involved in any of their discussions, obviously, with their budgets and what they have, but it seems to me Wisconsin and a lot of other programs in college athletics, it comes down sometimes to a choice. Are you going to put a big percentage of your, call it what it is, payroll between rev share and NIL? Are you going to put a huge percentage of that into one player? Or are you better off maybe getting 2 players who might not in the moment be superstars, but are really good players, really good fits for you? And those are we talk about business decisions that players are making. Well, programs have to as well. So, I think you look back at Michigan. Now, it sounds like their budget was really, really good. Okay. But was there, you look at that, Yaxel Lindeborg was in junior college for 3 years, was really good at UAB last year. They thought he would really be good. Ended up being player of the year in the Big Ten. Elliot Cadeau, good at Carolina, much better at Michigan. You need staffs who, A, have the resources to do it, then the ability to identify, evaluate, and acquire, call it recruiting, call it acquire, whatever, those players, and then develop them and make those teams mesh. That's the trick to all of this. The one thing I would say now too, and it can hopefully bring some hope. We saw Indiana go from a historical have-not to a college football national champion. You need to check every box. You need a certain element of luck, but I think that probably gives a lot of other programs hope that if we have the resources to at least be competitive, then you need all the rest, the identification, the ability to bring these guys into your program and then develop them, make them mesh, and then have some luck along the way. Indiana has proven it can be done. Others have proven you can at least make a push. Nebraska being a great case study, finally in basketball, winning its first 2 NCAA tournament games. So you can go from not very good to really good. Theoretically, you could do that quickly. but you can't. It's hard to ham and egg it on you can't have champagne dreams with a 6-pack budget. You've got to have something. It better be really good beer, to at least give yourself a fighting chance.
Yeah, the champagne of beers. You talked about UAB there for a second, and we are fortunate enough we get to talk to UWGB men's basketball head coach Doug Gottlieb on this program on Wednesdays, and he kind of talked about how at that level of where he's at, they're essentially the farm system for some of these bigger Power 5 schools, and that they're growing the kids that then are going to be picked to go, kind of like UAB and kids that start in JUCO and go there. Do you see this ever coming to being a separation of almost a minor league college system to the majors being the Power 5 schools? And if so, like, where does Wisconsin kind of rank right now on that list?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear Doug's thoughts on that, because I just think we're going in a direction where you break away from the NCAA, you form your own, particularly with football and men's basketball. You have the power conferences. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And in football, power conferences plus Notre Dame. And we're going to college football. It's not an NCAA tournament. It's its own college football playoff. But I could see, it just seems to me we're going down that path with college basketball, where the so-called mid-major is being like, hey, thanks for playing. Just go off to the corner there. We'll call you when we need you. And then we'll have our big boy tournament. And then if there's going to be some mid-major group of 6, whatever, do your own thing. That's probably not far-fetched. And that's the dilemma. The second part of your question, Josh, that's where Wisconsin, where does it fit in? I think you look at basketball, they were 5th in the Big Ten out of 18 teams. They were top 3rd. So at their best, they were really, really good. Beat Michigan, almost beat them a second time, beat Illinois twice, all of that. You feel like they're right on the edge. Football is playing catch up in terms of finances. Talking with Luke Fickell before spring ball started, they feel much more confident that they have the resources to at least have a fighter's chance to be much more competitive in the Big Ten. But that's the other burning question. I wish I could get a firm answer. I'm not really helping you out much here, but that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to fight as much as they can to sit at the adult table of the major programs in college athletics. And they know, especially with football, that they're playing catch up. They have a lot of work to do. Basketball, I think it's closer than you might think. And that's a ton of credit to Greg Gard and his staff, who've done a great job of cultivating relationships and people who have wanted to help through the NIL channels. Without Greg and that staff, I think this basketball program would really be in a world of hurt.
Upon further review, there was a lot less problems at the kids' table. I kind of want to go, if they wouldn't have these mini chairs and such a small card table, I wouldn't mind sitting back over there from time to time.
I would tell you that, and I know you guys know Doug, and I don't really. I maybe talked to him a time or two in his full-time broadcasting days, but I think coaches at that level have a next to impossible job. Because every year you could very well be putting together an entirely new roster. You see it at the high major level too, from time to time, but what they do and what they're asked to do is extraordinarily difficult, and it has to be a source of frustration for those coaches, because in some ways you could say it's a farm system. Yeah, my best player, who's a sophomore, he sure as heck probably won't be a junior with me next year. Yeah. And that's a tough thing. But obviously Doug managed it this year with the dramatic improvement that the Phoenix had.
Well, you might be surprised to hear when Doug has opinions, he has no problem sharing them. So I guess
I've understood that about him. Yeah, he doesn't hold back, and we all appreciate that.
Matt Lepay, the voice of the Badgers. Before we let you go, we'll catch up about football next time we chat. Are you heading to Vegas this week?
No, I will be here actually covering some spring football, but looking forward to watching and listening. My friend Brian Posick, the radio voice of Badger hockey. It's so fun to see those guys back. Hard to believe it had been 16 years since they had won an NCAA tournament game in men's hockey, but what a story it's been for those guys to be out there, and might as well keep this Big Ten thing going, winning championships. So why stop now? You got a couple teams out there, don't really care about the other one, but all care a lot about the Badgers. So see if they can get through North Dakota first and then see what happens.
Matt LePay, the voice of the Badgers on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We'll catch up again soon, Matt. Thanks for jumping on.
Good talking to you guys. Take care.
Thanks, Matt.
The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I've heard about that, about Doug Gottlieb, that he shares a thing or two.
I think it's a super interesting conversation, and I appreciated what Matt had to say there just about where the Badgers fall on that list. I agree, and maybe that should have been included in kind of the take back of Doug's plan of using schools like UWGB and trying to work internally within the state, build that wall around the state and groom guys here and have them go up to the Badger level. But I absolutely think that that's not far off of having the smaller schools be the place where these kids go. And it's the 2-year program. Go here, get groomed, and then find your way to a Power 5. And I'm just not sure where the Badgers truly are. If there was that split, I'll tell you right now, I think if I had to guess, they're in the majors, but they're low level.
I don't even think the Badgers know where they are because none of it's transparent. They're going to do their best, but at the end of the day, it's hard on these young men to look at this with any other type of glasses other than green dollar bills.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody texted in on the Nicolay Law talking text line earlier, 414-677-1250, comparing this to my son playing high school football and saying if he had option A for $1 million or option B for $300,000, which pause, we've not once ever talked about this with our sophomore in high school, but I digress. He would take the $1 million right away. And I go, I don't know. We're not that type of family where it's all about the money. The Benjamins, it can't be. Life is not all about money. And we have conversations with our kids about money and about budgeting and about savings and rainy day funds and retirement and debt and all of those things. So chasing the almighty dollar is not something I do. It's not something my wife does. And I don't think it's a no-brainer decision for my family someday. Again, all hypothetical. That's just that's what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's the case for a lot of others. I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying that's where this is all at. And so do the Badgers have a chance to keep a guy like John Blackwell? Apparently not at $5 million, but do they want to spend that? Somebody else earlier said Wisconsin has the money. They just don't spend it. Nobody knows. We don't know.
We don't
That's
know. There's not that transparency. I want to quickly get to this talking about money. The Nicolay Law fan talking text line 414-677-1250. The 262 had a Take Back Tuesday saying, I want to take back letting my husband convince me to not have Michigan winning the whole tournament. I would have won the whole pool if I would have kept them as the winner. I love that. I love that your husband was the one that stepped in and said, no, you can't. I love that that's what it came down to. How did you do? Were you in any pools this year? Did you make money? Were you out immediately? How was your bracket?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you that answer next. Let's make this a segment.
Okay.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. How'd you end up in your pool, kids?
Oh, there seems to be a story here.
Well, there's a story. I don't want to tell it, but I will. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. The Brewers kept it rolling with a win at Fenway yesterday, and tonight they send the Miz to the mound, who's hopefully going to put one in Wilson Contreras' ear hole. That's what that says right there. Miz to the mound, hit Contreras in the ear hole. Yep, right there.
It says that in the copy?
Yeah, literally, right? I'm reading it. Get the starting lineups and get ready for the first pitch with Tommy Wartz and the leadoff show this afternoon at 4:30 here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. It didn't, but it should. All right, so how'd you finish up in your bracket? Did you fill one out? What do you got? What's going on?
Oh, it's just Trevor Troll, never misses. He said on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk text line, hey, maybe instead of telling us your bracket story, you can just put it in your Christmas letter.
Jeez.
Oh, God, it's amazing.
Is that Trevor's Troll?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know, like
right there.
4 or 5 down.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, incredible. All right, it's not going to make the Christmas letter. Well, it still might, but tell us now.
It won't. I finished last. Dead ass last.
Ooh. What was your final four?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I was out so early. I'm a homer. I've picked Wisconsin to win it all ever since I started filling out a bracket.
Yeah, that'll hurt. Yeah.
I know the risk it comes in all, but in order to finish last, you got to get a lot more wrong than just the championship team. And apparently, I'm no good at that.
Yeah.
Literally, 13 of us, while we were on spring break, went to one of those FedEx, Kinko, UPS stores that has printers, printed off a bunch of paper brackets, even printed off a big one that we hung on the wall and filled out while we were still there. And I legit spent time thinking. I mean, again,
that was your first mistake.
Well, apparently, because the person that won, one of the dads, Jordan, congratulations.
Golf clap.
But if Arizona would have won, my wife would have won the whole thing. All right. So real glad that didn't happen, with all due respect to Amanda.
Why?
Because I would never live that one down. I mean, she cleaned my clock on the bracket in general, but if she would have won and I finished last, that's a problem.
I feel like that happens all the time where someone randomly wins, person who doesn't pay any attention picks it. The school's based on the mascots, et cetera, et cetera. I had people that actually reached out to me this year, like friends, wives that said, hey, husband told me to text you and say, who should I have in my final four? I say, this is always my rule. It doesn't work, so it doesn't matter. But what I do is I always pick 2 upsets, 1-5-12, and then one other one to happen in the first round. And then my final four is 3 1s and a 2. No matter what, that's how it is. There are 3 1s that make the final four and a 2. That's how I did. I had Houston. They went out. I did not have Illinois. And then I had Duke, Arizona, and Michigan. And so Duke also went out. I only had 2 teams. And then I had Arizona winning the whole thing. So completely fell apart. Method didn't work. Didn't come in last in anything, but definitely didn't win.
Way to get that in there.
Well, I'm just saying.
414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Talking text line. There's many of us that pick Wisconsin to win it because that's what we do. I mean, and one of these years, by golly, we're going to get it right. How did your bracket do? Let's go to the Nicolay Law Talking text line. The 920 says, I did a pool with my daughters who are 17 and 12, and I am an avid sports person, and they both crushed me in the men's and the women's bracket. All right, so at least I'm not alone.
The 224 said, best I ever did, not talking about this year, must not have done very well this year, was when with the Wisco National Championship appearance, had a perfect first round and still lost all 4 brackets I was in. Have not had any good years since. That's fun. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Everyone loves picking the upsets and, I had that upset. But the bracket pools and how they work, and I have heard there are different ones where you get bonus points for picking upsets in the first rounds, but it always comes down to what's your final four, who's your champion. You get the most points for those if you took the right team to go all the way.
I lost to 12 other people, included in this list, a 6th grade girl, an 8-year-old boy, both of my boys, a bunch of their buddies that are close to them in the same age, 3 wives and 2 other dads.
Well, it's not like you talk about sports for a living or something. It's
That's
not
exactly what my text message says back to them. Well, good thing one of us doesn't do this for a living, because we know what we're talking about. That's just the trap shoot that is this NCAA bracket stuff. Although, let's be honest, if you really did go chalk, how do you think you do? If you just went absolutely chalk and picked the top seed in every game, moving forward, you probably do a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out what the upsets and Cinderellas are going to be.
Well, that's why usually I say, like, when you get to the Elite Eight, you go chalk, and you end up with 3 1s and a 2 in your Final Four, and you pick it. And yet this year we only had 2 of them, and even then, if you go chalk, at some point you're going to have a 1v1 matchup, so you're still guessing at some point. You can't strictly just go by the numbers.
Sure, but you're only guessing in the Final Four.
Right.
Everything else plays it. I really wonder how that would do.
I will tell you this. I live for the chaos. I live for, halfway through day one, everyone rips up their brackets. And when ESPN and the March Madness app come out and they go, after that loss, there are 17 perfect brackets remaining in all of the United States.
Right.
Out of 30 billion, there are 17. There have been 3 games played. How is that? I'm all about that. I live for that chaos.
Wisconsin played on Thursday this year.
Yep.
And lost right away. And I knew my bracket was cooked. I left Puckers in Gatlinburg. Me and the 2 dads went over to one of the Tennessee whiskey. There's one of those Tennessee whiskey places that makes a bunch of them that are flavored, like salted caramel. And,
oh, yeah.
What's the name of that?
I can't remember, but
There's
I know
a reason I don't remember.
They're in like mason jars.
Oh,
right.
Most moonshine is, yeah. But there's a couple of those down there, right? The Tennessee Moonshine Company. Somebody's going to know.
Yeah.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talking text line. One of those places does the salted caramel and the mango habanero.
Was it Old Smoky?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So I think either there or one of the other places, that's where we went. And the rest of my night was busted. I'll put it that way. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Trying to forget what we just watched. But that's when I stopped looking at my bracket, literally that moment, because I knew I was cooked. And we got updates via text message in the spring break group chat that we had going. We knew how it was going to shake out if indeed this happened, where anybody but Arizona wins and Amanda doesn't win and Jordan wins. And I literally sent a message out this morning that said, hey, we have a victory speech that we intend to hear. So when you get a second, Jordan, go ahead and just rub it in all of our faces so we can move on with our life.
Sure. I think part of it too is, like, any pool that I'm in, I don't go like high stakes. Like if someone's like, hey, I'm doing a bracket pool, $50 a person. I'm like, no, I'm absolutely, because I want the chaos. And if I have money on a team, then I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm not going to, because I'm going to be safer with my picks if I got a lot of money on the line.
How many brackets do you fill out?
2.
Same or different?
Different. One is crazy and stupid, and I just fill it out in pencil, and I take like 7 or 8 upsets, and I'll take like a 9 or a 7 to go to the Elite Eight. And then one is way more chalk. Like I said, I pick 2 upsets in the first 2 days, and then it's usually kind of chalk from there, and then ends up with 3 1s and a 2.
Remember the old Mike and Mike on ESPN radio way back when it began? The brackets of integrity that they used to do?
Yeah.
I feel like one of the 2 filled out 1, and the other one had like 73.
Yeah,
I literally fill
understand
out 1 bracket. That's it.
See, that's the problem. If you're gonna fill out 1 bracket, you can't every year go and Wisconsin's gonna win. You got to have a bracket you want and a bracket that you think's realistic.
I'm aware that's my problem.
Oh, okay.
Very aware.
Okay. All right, good.
I've never finished anywhere near any. I mean, when Wisconsin went, I probably did well, but I don't remember.
Yeah, that year was your year.
Yay.
Still took second.
When we come, what'd you say?
And he still took second.
I probably finished second.
To an 8-year-old girl who, yeah.
I may never fill one out again.
Oh, come on.
I'm done playing fantasy. Not doing that anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I'm done.
If we do a station fantasy league, you're not going to do it?
I got out of all of them. I'm out. I'm done. I don't have the time. I don't have the patience, and I suck at it. Absolutely. I'm very much a what are we doing now type of guy. And then maybe what are we doing next? Like, Josh, I like planning. Hi.
Well, that's true.
very difficult to plan for fantasy football, fantasy baseball, fantasy anything in my life. I just don't have time. And I frankly don't care as much as those others that do. And therefore I can't compete. And if I can't compete because I don't have the time or the care, I should be done.
I figured maybe it was just because you can't pick like every Packer on your team, and then,
or can you?
You're like, I can, I have, and I come in last.
And now you know why I'm done. Because I can't pick anybody else in the NFC North.
Got it.
Because I refuse to cheer for them against the Packers.
Yeah.
I absolutely have at least 3 Packers on my lineup. I'm done.
Yeah. You're like, all right. At what point, which round should I pick Micah Parsons? You don't pick defensive players in this league. Sure. Oh, sorry. I just want to make sure I get all the Packers. So
I would totally do that.
You totally. Oh, it's great.
This is why we can't have nice things.
I so want us to do a fantasy football league now.
Are you in a Masters pool?
No, I'm
Me
not.
neither.
I'm
Somebody
not.
just asked that.
I already have my Masters tournament pool filled out. Do you both?
I like to tell people, like, if a different show will do it, I'll take the field. Give me the field. I'll let you pick 4 or 5 golfers. Give me the field. Absolutely.
Let's see if John Kuhn will take that bet. We'll ask him.
Okay.
We'll cross over from 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff when we get back. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Reminder. You can find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Inside Wisconsin Sports on wisportsradio.com, on Apple, on Spotify, on Stitcher, on all the rest that I don't. Amazon Music, I think, has podcasts. Apple probably has podcasts. Wherever. Inside Wisconsin Sports. Follow along there and catch up however you see fit. Josh, you were like, wait a minute. You got something cooking over there?
Well, yeah, I mean, I wanted to let everyone know before we talk to Rami as we cross over from 9 to noon that youth sports players can score a free small classic Frosty anytime they visit Wendy's in their sports uniform. That's right. Just stop by after practice or with your team after a game. Who doesn't love a Frosty?
You're cooking up Frosties. That's what you had cooking.
That's what I was cooking. Well,
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, we cross over with Rami Makloff. John Kuhn heard that we were going to try to make a bet with the Masters, and he's like, I'm out. He's done. So, Rami, here's the bet, bud.
Yeah.
Josh gets the field. You get one player in the Masters. The odds are what they should be because the odds are forever in your favor.
Sure.
Meaning if you hit, it's huge payday. And if Josh hits, it's probably 1-1.
Well, let me ask you
Josh
this.
gets the field and I get one
Are you?
Right.
It doesn't even have to be specific. Let me ask you this first. Are you guys doing any 9 to noon Masters pick'em, take a player?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
And I would think I would know that.
And because I know that Kuhn loves the Masters.
Yeah.
He watches
Big golf guy.
He watches the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you watch the Masters? Are you one of these guys?
Not a golf guy.
No, I watch the Masters on Sunday.
Okay.
I watch like the last round to see and for that moment, for that call of whoever, like that, the last day, that's when I'm tuning in. I'm not tuning into every single day.
Yeah,
of it.
like if I'm at home and I'm scrolling social media and I catch wind that there's like some exciting finish sizing up in the Masters, I might turn it on. That's my level. Like, remember a few years ago, Phil Mickelson had that miraculous finish, or, obviously Tiger Woods has had a couple of strong finishes and dramatic finishes to the Masters. I might turn it on if I catch wind of something like that. But other than that, I'm probably not turning it on at all.
Okay. So it doesn't matter if it's just like the last day, just in general, you're not.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then this has got to be. We're going to save this for Kuhn.
Yeah, Kuhn will be here tomorrow.
Okay, but
he will join you guys tomorrow.
But the bet I've always put out there is like, I'll give him the 3 golfers of his choice. He can pick 3. It doesn't have to be 1. He can pick 3. Heck, you can give him 4. Give him 4 golfers to choose,
and you take the rest. And
I'll take the other guys. Whoever's Potawatomi Sportsbook has as the favorites. You can take the top 4. Doesn't matter. Give me the other guys.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet for you. I think that's a very safe bet for you.
Maybe it's because I don't follow golf enough, but I just feel like
I don't think you need to follow golf enough to know that that's a really good dude. People who like even golf fans have barely heard of will come up and win some tournament. I don't even follow golf, but I know enough about golf to know that like it can be kind of fluky. Like a guy just has a day, you know what I mean? Who's nowhere near the top of the leaderboard or the rankings in the world of golf. And they'll just have themselves. I mean, all these guys are pros, you know what I mean? And, and they can get hot and, be feeling it on a particular day. And if that day happens to be the Masters or a couple days over the course of the Masters, then yeah, they could walk away with it. It's almost never the guys I can't say almost never, but I would say it's probably about 50-50 one of the guys that you'd expect versus somebody that nobody was expecting to win, not just the Masters, any given golf tournament.
Sure.
The 4 that the Potawatomi Sportsbook expects to win are Scotty Scheffler, Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm, and Rory McIlroy. So
I know
let's
all
just say
those
that
names. Okay.
John would take those, and you get the rest.
Who's the 5th? Do they have a 5th posted?
Ludwig Aberg.
You can give him.
Never heard of that guy.
You can give him those top 5.
Guess
and then I would take the rest. I just half of that bet to me is just not being knowledgeable enough about golf.
And we're talking about golf or my bracket now.
Yeah, right. See, what I didn't do is search the list for which golfer was closest ties to Wisconsin, and then pick that guy to go all the way, which is Trevor's method. Trevor finished in last in his bracket pool. he also takes Wisconsin every year to win the whole thing.
Well, that'll do it.
Right.
Yeah, that'll do it every time. Yeah.
Thanks,
So-
Captain Obvious. Appreciate it.
So
By the way, with little to no college basketball knowledge, I think I finished 7th in the office pool here and was in first place up until the Final Four.
right, you knew that your doom was coming though, because you didn't have
'cause I didn't
Final
have-
Four
yeah.
teams.
Well, I had 3 of the Final 4, but I didn't have either of the 2 teams that made it into the final game.
Oh, still 3 of your Final
I had
Four,
3
right?
of the Final 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's still not bad.
The only Final Four team I didn't have was Duke, and I had them winning the whole thing, and that's why I knew I had no chance of winning it. Like they showed you your possible points, you know, at that point, and then I knew the math wasn't mathing, and I couldn't win it. But I'll take. I mean, that's a small victory for me. Having not watched much of college basketball until March. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You take that.
What's coming up from 9 to noon, Rom?
Oh, man, another day, more Giannis drama, a couple stories that we got to talk about. Lori Nichols one-on-one with Giannis that came out yesterday just as we were getting off the air. And then a piece from ESPN.com today that says that this thing is like a funeral march to the end of Giannis's tenure with the Milwaukee Bucks and all the friction and drama behind the scenes. They claim to have details on that. Also, a lot of drama in last night's Brewers win. We'll talk about that, and Tim Allen will be here to talk about it at 10 o'clock and much, much more from 9 to noon today.
Ear hole or no?
For
You know what I'm
Contreras.
talking about.
For Contreras, nah, I don't think you get in the muck with them. You know what I mean? I liked Brandon Woodruff's reaction yesterday of giving it next to no attention as Wilson Contreras was doing Wilson Contreras things. I don't think you get down into the muck with those guys. You're an 8-2 baseball team. I say you just keep the good vibes and the wins rolling and don't get down in the muck with them.
Well, I said this to start the show. Good news. We have the guy with the most control on his fastball going on the mound tonight. So there won't be any problem whatsoever.
No, wouldn't be a problem at all. Won't be any problems at all in Boston.
The Miz is going to bean somebody, and it's not even going to be on purpose, and there's going to be a fight. All right, our thanks to Matt LePaya for joining us on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh today. Doug Gottlieb scheduled to join us tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., and we appreciate all of you and all of your input on the Nicolay Law talk and text line. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
And we'll see you tomorrow because we're not done yet.